Yeah, live.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining Candid Conversations. I am your host, the laid back, down to earth life coach, Aisha Israel, and we are going to get started. So, I know tonight you were expecting the Mary game, but we had a quick change of plans. My wonderful husband, Barry Israel, wanted to educate the masses. And so, we're going to get started tonight with what are we calling it? Who's on your ballot? Okay, so I'm gonna let him get started. Good. Wanted to educate.
All right. Hello, everybody. Just wanted to touch bases with everyone tonight in regards to the campaign that's going on. And the campaign that everyone is talking about is go vote. Go vote, go vote, go vote. You hear that all the time. And people, go vote. If that's the outcome, they really not educated on who to vote for and why they're voting for that person. Kind of like I don't want to say I don't want to get in no type of confrontations with anyone, but kind of like how black people just were born into being Christians or being Democrats over the past 30, 40 years, 50 years. That was just something that it was automatic. You didn't question your parents when they say be a Christian, and you didn't question your parents when it came time to say vote being a Democrat. It was just something that black people tended to do. So what I wanted to do is that change up a little bit because I found myself being uneducated voter. I found myself being a ignorant voter, I guess you could say, to where I'll go to the polls and it's a long list of people that I find myself voting for that I knew nothing about. And I didn't want to leave things blank, so I would just put things in based off of it being Democratic or it being a last name that sound familiar or a nickname that sound familiar. And I think that's a problem that we're having as a society is that people say go vote, but they don't give you no outcome or any type of background of what a lot of the people are on the ballot. Now, speaking of the ballots, we have the presidential ballot, which everyone knows Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Those are the two that you hear about. But there are many, many other things to vote on your ballot that has more impact of immediate impact than a presidential uh, uh, election. So that's kind of what we wanted to do today was just show you some of the things that are on a ballot when you do decide to go and vote. Okay.
Sounds good.
Ready to go? You had any questions, comments?
I mean, before you get started, I did think we could chime in with some, I guess, feedback or follow up to the recent happening. So, the presidential debate that was last week. Was it last week?
Yep, last Tuesday.
It seems like so much time has passed. But anyway, so the presidential debate that was last week, there were a lot of comments, a lot of opinions about that. What did you think?
I thought it was a debate. I knew it was going to be a comedy show. I was bracing myself for that. I don't think anybody, if you complained about Donald Trump over the past 4 years, you definitely didn't see anything that you uh, didn't know or see already. So he was a typical Donald Trump. The thing is that he's not a politician, and he says that he's not a politician. So when you have a non-politician going against a politician. Remember, now politician, which we get into that as well later, how a politician turns it on in front of his customers, and the customers are the voters. So just like you go to a grocery store, that particular manager is going to be a manager for the store, but behind closed doors is probably somebody totally different. So Donald Trump is not sugarcoating anything. I thought it was like no other debate that I ever seen before, but that's Donald Trump, and
I
I
didn't
liked
think it
it.
was a debate at all,
I
and I was
liked it.
very irritated. So here's the thing. I am independent. I am not Democrat. I am not Republican. I like to learn about the candidates' behavior and patterns before I vote. I don't see voting for a ticket just because it's that ticket. And so we all know what has happened in the last 4 years, the divisiveness, the anger, the racism that has happened. And so, not all that excited. Well, I shouldn't even say not all that excited. I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, at least for being a president. But as far as Biden is concerned, I'm not that excited about Biden. So, what I was hoping to gain from watching the debate was a reason to feel good about my vote, because I feel at this point the only way to get a new president would, obviously to get a majority vote for someone else, which clearly seems to be Biden is that choice. But I don't want to just vote for him just to get Donald Trump out. I want to know what I'm getting when I vote for Biden. And I don't feel like he was given a lot of time to really express the topics that he was trying to defend. So I feel like I was left empty, as far as what I tuned in to watch and the information I was expecting to get. So I was very disappointed with that event that was entitled a debate. I didn't think it was a debate at all. I really felt like I was in a classroom with some toddlers.
It felt like toddlers. I would definitely give you that. But what we will do today, we will let the people know that there are 8 people on the ballot for the presidential election, which no one is hearing about. So we'll get into that as well. That is 7 people plus Kanye, I guess you want to say, but Kanye as well. He's one of the 8 people, but we'll talk about that as well.
What does that mean, 7 people plus Kanye? Like he's not a person?
No, I'm just saying because he's the right end. He's the hip hop guy. He's the one that people don't want to say that he's presidential material as well. But we'll get into that as well. Anything else? But like I said, I do think it was toddlers, but it was fun. It was Donald Trump, and I think some of the points that he made were good. Biden, Trump.
Okay, like what?
All right, for one, when he talked about the judges, as far as that he's not a president only for 3.5 years. He's a president for 4 years. And if by chance something occurred within his term, he has all right to defend that position or appoint somebody in that position. So just because the election is November 3rd doesn't mean that his term is over November 3rd. His term is over on January 21st when he gives over power, if by chance he is to lose. So Barack Obama tried to also appoint a justice before he got out, but he didn't have the Senate on his team. So from there, nobody shamed Barack for trying to hurry up and do it, but they shamed the Republicans for actually blocking him from doing that. So the thing is that, it's a part of what it is. So just like me, if I had 4 years on my contract, I want to do everything within my power within 4 years. And I don't think that is wrong for me to have that position for 4 years. Okay. So that's one thing. 2, Trump also mentioned about judges that Biden didn't explain about him adding more justices to it, because now with him being in position, he did have majority of judges to appoint. So he appointed more judges at this time. I'm not a Trump fan, but I'm just pointing facts out. So Biden didn't answer that question. That's a very important question, because for us to agree to that or not to agree to that, that could affect our kids in the long run, because right now it's 9. So what if Biden say, okay, let's go to 11? And in the term, if we don't like Republicans and Biden, just to give him some leg room to get more Democrats on the bench, now when it comes to, say, our kids 20, 30 years down the line, that could really affect them if by chance now it's, say, 11 of the opposite group that you don't like. You know what I mean? So it's a tricky, it's a tricky thing.
Her request, someone who was respected like she was.
It's very true, but at the end of the day, you have to vote. Yeah, but against her request, someone. Yeah, against her request, Yeah, the request, yeah, I definitely agree, Gail. But you have to
So
honor
what
what it
basically?
is.
So nobody's saying that it was illegal. They're just saying it was a like a cheap shot,
It's a cheap shot.
like a punk move. You know what I mean?
It's
So
in the eyes of those who are not in that position may feel that way. But if you were in that position, you would want your powers to be executed the way that your powers say that they should be executed under the law of the land, and that's all it is.
okay, we're gonna move on.
We gonna move on, okay? Because there's some more stuff,
I'm
but
sure.
we can go on. That debate is not what we're here to debate. I'm
Right,
just
we're
wanna,
having a debate.
yeah, we're having a debate.
All right. So I don't know if it's included in your PowerPoint this evening that you wanted to share.
Yeah.
But we talked about. Well, I know I mentioned after watching the debate, I don't support the tax move that Biden was mentioning. So I know that you had mentioned earlier in the week that the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce also does not support that new tax. Is it a bill? A new
Well,
tax
it's
bill?
it's
An
a
amendment.
no, it's an amendment to the Constitution. I want to say I can't think of the amendment. Don't give me the line, but I want to say it's the 14th Amendment. But the thing is it's an equal tax bill that says no matter what, that everyone should be taxed. And I don't quote me, but I want to say it's 4.3%. No matter what your 4.35% or something like that is what everyone will be taxed no matter what their income is. So if you make $100,000, that your tax will be at this same amount. So ideally, the rich do pay more.
But right now they're saying you won't get this tax hike unless you make $250,000 or more.
Right. So now that's an amendment, okay? Because it's in United States law that everybody is taxed the same. U.S. citizens are taxed the same. So with the amendment, it will start to put the tax brackets in. It'll start to put in tax brackets based off of income. I guess a level up, pretty much. So yes, right now the law that they are trying to bring on board does not identify any type of income bracket. So it's just a law that says that you could be taxed based off of increments. So what is that increment? That first increment could be the one that they're talking about, 200,000, 500,000, 1 million, whatever that may be. But who's to say in 5 years they say, we need a little more. So you guys who make $50,000, we got to up yours as well. Okay, 2 years later, those who make $20,000, it puts no ceiling on what's fair
And
to
you're
be
saying that
taxed.
they would make this without us being allowed to vote on that change?
If we vote on the change now, we could say no. But if we vote to change it, yes, they can say they can raise tax at any need purposes. And that's
And
what's
the
not
need
being
can change.
the need could change. That's none of that is being outlined to say that okay, if there's a difference in income based off of communities and we want the rich to pay a little bit more, there's nothing saying that money's coming back into the lower income communities at all. Right now they're saying bridges, tollways, highways. I mean, they've been fixing bridges and tollways forever. I swear, I promise you, they done tore up that Madison Bridge and on the Kennedy, Madison and Monroe. They done that at least 3 times in the past 12 years. And I don't understand how that keeps getting approved. But yeah, but yeah, that's what it is. So, but so that I agree. Now I will be voting against that tax thing. I believe that it's a lot that's given away in donations. I believe that if you are making $1 million, you are paying more. I believe that things just need to change up a little bit different, but not on a blind tax. That's a blind increase of tax if we vote on that.
Okay. All right. So I'll let you get started with your PowerPoint.
All right, share screen.
But I do before we sign off tonight, I do want to talk about the upcoming debate.
Okay.
With the vice presidents.
All right. What button do I say
because it's
share
being
screen
said.
with? Oh, here we go.
Hmm.
No, that's not it.
That was right.
That's not sharing screen though.
It was sharing screen.
That's a whole nother person.
Huh?
Yeah, that's
You have to go to
okay.
the first slide.
Okay. Was that it? Is that
Okay. No,
it?
yeah, but go.
Selection is underway. Go to full
Is that
screen.
your first slide?
Yep.
I wasn't here when you did that. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Go to full screen.
How do you do that?
Down at the bottom. Yep. Click that.
All right. All right. So election 2020 is underway. If you didn't know, you can go out and early vote now. I personally encourage early voting. You don't have to wait to November 3rd, 2020 to go and vote. You can go vote early. All right. All right. So election day is Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020. Illinois will mail an absentee ballot application to those who voted in Illinois in the 2018 general election, the 2019 municipal election, or the March 17th primary election, as well as to anyone who registered to vote or updated their address after the primary election. You can also vote in person. Illinois offers early voting. Now, the things that I'm going to show are for Illinois. Those who are in other states, I encourage you to do the same thing. You can go to ballotpedia.com and it should pull up everybody within your state. But this is for Illinois. This is Illinois. This is
Thank you.
this is for mail-in ballots, as well as if you changed in your voter registration card. Okay. Illinois voters can also vote before Election Day. The early voting period runs from Thursday, September 24th to Monday, November 2nd, 2020. But dates and hours may vary based on where you live. So make sure you check that. If you are trying to do early voting, go out and look up where you can go. I want to say starting in I think Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, this week, you should be able to have a location in every ward inside of Chicago area, and then there should be locations out in the suburbs as well where you can do early voting. I strongly encourage that. It allows you to avoid some lines, allow some run-ins that may occur before November 3rd. All right, what should you bring? If you voted in Illinois before, you don't need to provide ID to vote. If you're a first-time voter who registered by mail and didn't provide your driver's license number, state ID number, last four digits of the social security number, or a copy of a current ID of government document that shows your name and address when you registered, you need to provide one of these when you vote. You can use a copy of a current and valid photo identification, a copy of a lease or contract for residence, a student ID and mail address to your residence, or a copy of a current utility bill, bank statement, government check, paycheck, or other government document that shows your name and address. So what is this basically saying? Basically saying, bring something with your name on it and you can vote. If you voted already, you should be on file with the Board of Elections and you should be okay. So right now, you shouldn't have an excuse to vote unless you are just a person that's hiding and don't have any documents for to be identified. Voters without ID. If you are unable to provide ID, you will be able to vote a provisional ballot. After voting provisionally, you will be told how to submit additional proof of registration to the election authority. The additional information must be received by the election authority no later than the close of business on the Tuesday following the election. So basically, even if you don't have ID, it's still ways for you to vote. So it shouldn't be any excuse for anybody that wants to vote having an opportunity to vote. Who can vote? To register in Illinois, you must be a citizen of the United States, be a resident of Illinois and of your election precinct at least 30 days before the next election, be at least 18 years old on or before the next election, cannot be serving a sentence or confinement in any penal institution as a result of conviction of any crime. No claim the right, not claim the right to vote anywhere else. That's pretty much self-explanatory. There was a lot of questions about felonies being able to vote. That depends on the state, to be honest with you. Some states have different laws that allow felonies that are not inside of confinement or on probation. So you have to check with your state to find out what the rules and laws is of that. But definitely someone who is locked up in jail or who is on probation, I'm sorry, on parole, they are not able to vote. But some states allow those who are on probation, which is different. Parole and probation is two different things. Then they are allowed to vote. Those who are on probation. All right, voting by mail. Now this is the thing that they try to put on people and say as far as the mail-in ballots. All right, you heard a lot about the mail-in ballots. Me personally, I say go vote. The mail-in ballots, you just don't know. Yes, you're right. You have the right to do it.
What do you mean? You just don't know?
Because the thing is that the mail-in ballots go under more security watch, I guess you want to say. They really check to make sure everything is the same. So if you decided
to make sure you didn't vote twice,
but just even your name signing, so if you curve your eye, after having a cocktail one day, you curve your eye one way, and then when you sober, you curve it another way. If by chance it's not the same as your voter registration card, they're not going to accept it. So, and they're not going to reach out to you to see if it's fraud.
This information?
That's how ballots get thrown out, by being not accurate. Yeah,
I've never mailed in my vote, so
yeah. So no, that's how they check it. They check it by the information that they ask for, and they check it by your signature. And based off of that, if it's not matching up, they can toss it out. So that can be a loss of a vote for any particular party. So
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So if that's the case, if the mail-in votes are under such scrutiny, why would the Democrats, who really want Biden to win, be strongly encouraging the masses to mail in their vote?
You asking me, or
I'm saying, does that seem logical to you?
Okay, so
unless what you're telling me isn't completely accurate.
All right, so my take on that is it allows for an argument later. Okay, it allows for things to be counted multiple times in the sense of let's recount. All right, let's bring. You know what I'm saying? Total thing. Just to recount, just to slow things up. So as Trump mentioned, that this election may not be fully disclosed until like December because of
all the different ways,
all the different things. Yeah, exactly. So here it is. You have the mail-in ballots that could be delayed. All right, because they can be postmarked, but still don't mean you're gonna get it there in a certain day. Okay. Two, you have like I say, people votes getting thrown out. You never know what may happen because you're not there to turn it in. You hope that it's people that's honest, but we had a messed up election back when Bush was running. I think Bush lost Florida. They recounted Florida. They found a bunch of votes that was for a particular party somewhere else. It was messed up down in Florida. So that's kind of why I think the argument is, hey, absentee ballots. I know millions of people do it, but it needs to be. I think it needs to be handled a little bit earlier, not so much around the date.
What's the deadline?
I think the deadline, which we'll get to it. I'm not sure. Hold on. The
deadline to request the ballot by mail is Thursday, October 29th.
Right. Yep. And said when your ballot arrives, read it carefully and follow the instructions to complete it. But pretty much it says fill out the application completely. Deadline to request the ballot. So I think all ballots have to be postmarked by November 2nd, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
All right. And the ones who can get an absentee ballot again are those who voted in 2018, 2019 municipal election, or March 17 primary election, as anyone who also registered to vote or updated the address. So if you haven't done that already, then you probably won't get a mail-in ballot. So it kind of has like those who have a history of voting, and that's the thing is that this could be something to say that, hey, we got all of these Cardi B fans to vote now, and they did absentee ballots because they're new. You know what I mean? So now we holding up, waiting. It just seems funny to me. All right, here we go. Presidential candidates. You only heard the 3 on here, baby. All right, I'm just saying in general. People may have heard all of them, but 3 of them seem familiar to me. So you have Donald Trump, who's the president, Joseph Biden, who's the Democrat representative. You have Mark Charles, independent. Have you heard of him?
I have not.
Have not heard of him. What is his views and values? I don't know, but I'm telling you, can look him up on ballotpedia.com or .org, and it's another website as well that gives you what everyone's stance is on like the typical subjects, which is healthcare, taxes, education. Yeah, so they give their stance. Brian Carroll, you heard of him?
You don't even have to ask me.
Howie Hawkins, Joe Jurgensen. That's a lady. She's a libertarian. I'm sorry, I know
Jurgensen?
that. Yeah, Jurgensen. Gloria La Riva and Kanye West, who's with the birthday party group.
No.
That's what's up.
That's not a real party.
It's a party to me. Who don't go to a birthday party?
No, really. The birthday party?
Yes, I think that's what he want to name his party. He mentioned the birthday party.
Okay, so he has his own party.
His own party.
Obviously I've heard of birthday parties, but when it comes to politics, I've never heard of the birthday party. That's a joke.
Well, hey, the other 5 people you haven't heard of. 6 people.
And what are their parties? What party is Brian Carroll?
He's no party. There's no party for Brian Carroll.
He's just out there.
Yeah, he's just out there. Also, Gloria La Riva, she was just out there as well. So now this is how this plays out. This is my opinion on here. So you have Tupac and you have Biggie.
What are we talking
Here
about?
we go. You got Bad Boy, you got Death Row. And now you have Barry Israel on an independent label. You're going to hear everything on the radio from Biggie and Tupac. Barry Israel ain't getting no play on the radio station. That's how Donald Trump and the Republicans, Joseph Biden and the Democrats, they have the more money. So you're going to hear more from them, and you're not going to hear stuff from people who actually may be the people who we want to put in office. And that's the problem that we have to, as an educated voter, you have to go and educate yourself, because these might be the people who you need to hear from.
So, do you know if any of these people, other than the number 1 and number 2 candidates, have experience in politics? Because it's not necessarily just the fact that the top 2 are well known and have the most money and get the most promotion, but are you saying or suggesting that the other people on the list could be more qualified? Because Biden has been in the White House. He was in the White House for 8 years.
8 years.
And Trump has been in the White House for almost 4 years. So they have, whatever their experience was, they still have experience. Now, the other people on the ballot, are they people that you're willing to trust the entire country with?
That's the question. Me personally, I'm not here to guide anybody anywhere to vote. I'm just here to try to educate the voters. And that's what we need to do, because it could be a rally to where one of these people, and that's what I will do. I'm trying not to be that ignorant voter, and maybe I do need to read up on what their policies are, and maybe they just need a what's the thing called when you people, everybody sharing your stuff, liking it, trending. Maybe they want this. Maybe somebody needs these people help to start trending, and
but okay, I hear you. But now I don't think it's a good time to do that. And here's why I say that, because the election is a month away, correct?
The
And
election
so
is
the
a month away.
goal, okay, now it might not be everybody's goal because I'm sure there are Trump supporters out there, but the goal is to get Trump out of office. So if we
Is that
start
the
splitting,
goal?
we start split.
Is that the goal, to get them out, or to get things that's gonna help benefit you? And that's the whole thing. People are taking it personal.
Okay, so here's the thing. I understand and I know where you're coming from because we are entrepreneurs, and I understand that typically Republicans, when they are in office, it's a better situation for business owners, small and large. However, with Trump, it has been a rough 4 years, despite our costs going down for our annual reports and our starting up new businesses. I get that. However, just the divisiveness, the racism, the violence, it's a lot. I remember when he first was inaugurated. I don't even think he was 6 months in. And I'm like, how many years has he been president already? Because it
Yeah.
felt like it had been a long time. Like, I'm ready for him to go because it's just been a taxing 4 years. It hasn't even been 4 years, but it's been a taxing time. It's been exhausting. It's been negative. It's been a lot of unpleasant things that, yeah, I'm ready for him to get out of office. I'm not saying
So
that everything that he touches turns to crap, but I'm ready for him to go. Yeah, I don't think he's a good representative of the country.
all right, which is fine, your opinion, and I'm just here to be the opposite side.
You have no opinion.
I have wait. I'm just no. I have no opinion. I just trying to get all your opinions.
Okay.
So in that case, what has Donald Trump done to you?
To me specifically, because he
To
hasn't been in my personal space.
uh,
But I think that
whatever it is to affect you, to make you feel that way. Is it just
I
his
think that
presentation?
he has empowered um, groups that are that white supremacist groups. He has empowered them. So, not saying that he created them, not saying they have become emboldened. You know what I mean? Like they feel like they can do and say whatever they want to say right now. That's not okay.
Now, with that terminology, with that philosophy, has black groups also been kind of going on the uprise now because of the awareness?
Absolutely. But it's on the defensive. And that I think that they're totally within right to do so.
They are. Now the thing is that um, it's a different day. It's
What
a
does
different
that mean?
day. It's a different day. So now the videos I've seen, people ain't taking that stuff they took back in the 70s or whatever. People
Really?
get knocked out now on and made videos of. So the thing is, I asked you that question: what has Trump done to you? Now this is the backside of the question. Obama was there for 8 years. What did Obama do for you?
Really?
I'm just asking a question. So Trump, we point what he did to you. Now I'm asking what Obama did for you. And you know what? We could come back to that later. I'm still waiting on
Okay.
somebody for the past two and a half years to tell me exactly what he's done. And this is a lawyer, and they haven't came back with anything yet. And
Okay.
go
So
ahead.
for me personally, I don't have a list of things. And I will say that a lot of people will say Obamacare, but I've heard two versions of that. From Let's just keep it African American for the moment. So a lot of African Americans are and were happy with Obamacare because they themselves either had pre-existing conditions or knew somebody who was in a situation where they had pre-existing conditions and were able to get health care because they were not denied due to Obamacare. On the other hand, I know black entrepreneurs that were infuriated because of the astronomical prices that they had to pay due to Obamacare. So it didn't affect me one way or the other because I I had health insurance already. So I don't personally know. It didn't affect me at all. I do know that I attended the first inauguration, and I felt like racial harmony was in existence. It was contagious. It was beautiful. And I felt like it was a little easier to walk the streets back then
No,
compared to now.
no.
Okay, say why not?
People, because the same things that were happening today were happening then. So we still
You
would
say the same thing.
the
like
same
what?
thing. So you still have police racial profiling. Racial profiling has always been there
Okay.
from beginning of time and even till today. So no matter who's in office, Joe Biden is not going to stop that. Kanye West is not going to stop that. So the thing is
Stopping it and encouraging it are two different things, though.
well, so
You can't
okay.
say that President Trump has not encouraged KKK rallies. Like, it's documented in newspapers.
I'm not here to argue that.
So
All I'm saying is that no matter who's in office, there's still going to be some type of racial conflict. Are you saying that with Joe Biden is just to be
I don't
less
have
upfront?
anything to say about Joe Biden.
Exactly. So that's my whole thing is that it's about right now as being an adult, we have to not be personal. And I'm not saying vote for anybody, vote for Donald Trump. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is take a good look at who you're voting for and make sure that it's the right decision for you. Joe Biden does not mean that it's the right decision. There's 5 other candidates, and those might be the right candidates for you. But because it's only the 2 parties with the most money, those are the ones that you hear the most from. It's like GCI. You wonder why you hear the same song 4 or 5 times a day? That's because those are people who got the most money. It's not the best song that's probably in the world, but it's because the money is behind it. You're going to hear it 4 or 5 times, and then you become to like that song because now it didn't play in your head so many times. And then when you hear, just give an example, a song like Brian Carroll pop up, whoever that may be, I'm gonna do my research, but whoever that may be, he may have a nice album and none of his songs got played because he didn't have any money. And that comes with everything in life. It's a lot of hidden gems, but the ones who got the most money are the ones you hear most. And then it's like, oh, I got to pick the best, one of the best evils, whatever they say. But the lesser of two evils.
And I totally agree with you as far as educating yourself on the candidates. I just think splitting the vote is dangerous.
Well, it's about who's right. I mean, if the person who has the most vote is the one who people like, I think so. But like I say, and it may not happen this term. You're absolutely correct. But this is a start for my people. We need to start learning who's on the ballot. All right. So let's go to the next slide.
Okay. I agree.
All right. So U.S. senators. These are the U.S. senators that's on the Illinois ballot. You have Richard Durbin. They call him Dick Durbin. Dick is short for Richard. I don't know how he got Dick out of Richard, but that's what it is. So he's the Democrat. He's the incumbent senator. You have David Black, Mark Coran, Chad Copey, Danny Muloff, and Willie Wilson.
I thought that was
Copy. Maybe I'm saying his name, Chad Copey.
No, I'm saying I thought that was an L.
So Mr. Durbin is Democratic. David Black is Green. Coran is Republican. Copy Constitution. Muloff Libertarian. Willie Wilson is no party. So out of this, Black stands. Let's go. Willie Wilson. Willie Wilson is from Chicago. He's making connection with Chicago. Dick Durbin, the Democrat, he's from Southern Illinois, East St. Louis, down there. And if you don't know about down Southern Illinois, you need to do your research about Southern Illinois. But he's been there for so long as our senator.
That people just vote for him.
People vote because he's a Democrat. And not to say that he's bad or good. But the thing is, I don't think people research what he's about. in what he's trying to do.
So what is he about?
I told you I was an ignorant voter, so that's what I have to do. I'm in the learning stages too with everyone else, but he made some improvements, not improvements. He made some votes that go towards helping um, us, far as in the inner city, whatever. Can he do more? I'm sure it is possible that he can do more. Do he have an interest that he's probably, favoring? Could be those in the down southern part of Illinois. And there's two different parts of Illinois. You have the inner city and you have the rural areas down southern Illinois. But my thing is, if it's a let's go BLM, whatever, get somebody close, homegrown, Willie Wilson is that candidate. I know you don't like the way he talk, but it's don't you can't allow you can't allow a person handicap to stop. We're not gonna get in that debate because I know you're not saying no equal rights, equal. I know you want equal rights for everybody, but his verbal presentation is not liked by all. But
it's not like what?
It's not like his verbal presentation. A lot of people.
It's not liked.
Yeah, it's not liked. Yeah, it's not liked by all. So the thing is, I'm sure people made fun of him as a kid, but he's a kid who was that oddball that became the millionaire. He's the guy, and the thing is, one thing I would say about Willie Wilson is that I don't like that he keeps switching what he wants to run for. I think he needs to pick something and run for that and make that his agenda. But when you try to run for governor, run for senator, run for this, and it just really don't show any consistency to what it is your mission may be. And it could be that his
mission is to get into
be at the round table, I guess. Yeah, be at the table and see what's going on. But once he get that CEC, it really ain't nothing. He'd be cool as a regular old millionaire. But this is your U.S. senator, regular old millionaire. But Dick Durbin, you're gonna hear a lot about Dick Durbin because it's backed by the Democratic Party, which is Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Now, with that, he may feel a little threatened by Willie Wilson, only because Willie Wilson had a certain amount of votes for the mayoral election. Mm-hmm. And so from there, if you listen to these radio stations on in the city, you're going to hear a lot of Dick Durbin commercials, and it's going to be backed by Joe Biden and backed by Kamala Harris, which it should be. But that just lets you know that the money is the one that gets all the advertising. And from there, they have an expense or people that give donations, tax write-off to back those people. So that's your U.S. senators. All right, let's go. House of Representatives. Heading into November 3rd election, the Democratic Party holds 13 of the 18 congressional seats from Illinois. So we have 18 seats. 13 of them are held by the Democrats. 5 are held by the Republicans. All right, here go to 18 seats. I need my glasses again. All right, so the 18th, you have Bobby Rush, Robin Kelly, Daniel Lipinski, Garcia, Jesus Garcia's, Mike Quigley, Sean Caston, Danny Davis, Raha Kusamar Murthy, sorry if I'm misspelling names, John Kozkowski, Brad Snyder, Bill Foster, Mike Bose, Rodney Davis, Lauren Underwood, John Simpkins, Adam Kinzinger, Cherry Bustos, Darren LaHood. You have to find out who district you live in. Find out what's going on with them people. All right. Break it down for you. So District 1, general election. You have Bobby Rush, Philistine White, and Ruth Pellegrini. That's who running for District 1. District 2, you have Robin Kelly, Theresa Redburn. All right. District 3, Mary Newman, Mike Valenti. I'm not going to say all their names. But District 4, District 5, learn what district you're in so you know who to vote for. This is the House of Representatives. 18 seats are available. All right. Democratic Party holds 13 out of 18 seats. All right. That's District 10, District 11. District 12, District 13, District 14, District 15, District 16, District 17, District 18. You have to know what district you're in, learn who's on the ballot, and learn what their agenda is. You need to start making connection with these people in order to make sure that you're being heard. All right. All right. Now, this right here, yeah, I know it's a little janky slide, but look at here. From 1992 to 2020, the 14 years of that time span, that's been 14 of that, the Democrats have had a trifecta. 2 years of that, the Republicans have had a trifecta. Mm-hmm. Now, if by chance, and that was in 95, 96, that it was a trifecta for the Republicans. The rest of trifectas have been Democrats. Now, if you're happy with Illinois is a Democrat state. This just shows you that Illinois has been running things. What I don't like personally.
Democrats have been running things.
Yeah, Democrats. That's what I said.
You said Illinois has been running things.
Oh, I'm sorry. Democrats have been running things. What I don't like, what we need to do, based on my community, I think, is to talk to these representatives, our senators, our representatives, as well as our state and senators and representatives. I believe that vacant property should not be the face for a certain amount of years. Me personally, it should be a 5-year limit on a abandoned, ugly property, pretty much. If it's not boarded up correctly, it needs to be given to somebody on that block, a businessman and within that neighborhood that allows them to do something creative until the owner decides to do something, or just get it away from that owner. There's no way that taken away from that owner. So no, it don't have to be given away, but it definitely could be put into a pool of a community stakeholder to do something within that community. But I don't think somebody from Naperville or Schaumburg should have first rights to come over here and take that property because they have money. But it should be somebody within the neighborhood to get a business going within that neighborhood. The only reason for that is that our children grow up to be accustomed to seeing abandoned buildings and seeing burnt down buildings, to see buildings not being occupied. And that really happens in the Black community. You go to a Latin community, Arabian, Indian, and any other community. And that's what we have to stop. But I just wanted to show you that from 1992 to 2020, Illinois has been a Democratic state for the most part. And are you happy with what's going on? All right. The Illinois State Senate is one of 86 state legislative chambers holding an election in 2020. A total of 20 seats of 59 Illinois Senate seats are up for election. All right. So the Democrat holds 39 of those seats. Republican holds 19 of those seats. Have one that's vacant right now, but 20 of these seats are available on November 3rd as the final date. Remember, go early vote. All right. Here we go. What's this? The Illinois House of Representatives is one of 86 state legislative chambers holding election. All 118 House seats are up for election. So 74 the Democrat has, Republican has 44. It's 118 total. Go vote. Learn who district you stay in, and make sure that you're holding those people accountable. All right. So special election, Illinois State Senate District 6 and District 11. Find out what's going on with that particular. That's a special election that's going on with some judges. So find out what district, if that pertains to you in Illinois. All right. In immediate appellate courts, this is your courts. You have some judges going on in the first district appellate court. You got John Griffin, Michael Heyman, Milton Wharton. You got judges who must stand for retention election in the first district appellate court right there. This is also on the ballot. Find out what district you're in. You have first district, second district, third district, fifth district for the courts that would be up for election. Municipal government, Cook County, Illinois. These are other sitting positions that will be on the ballot. Remember, now, if you're thinking you're just going in to vote and it takes 5 minutes to get out of there, it will not. All of these positions will at least take you about 20 to almost 30 minutes to make sure that you are getting what you need, unless you go in there and you know exactly who you vote for. But you need to make sure that you are voting for these different positions. But you have the county clerk, a circuit court, the county state's attorney, board of review commissioners, metropolitan water reclamation district, county circuit court, county judicial court. These are all different positions that they will have identified people running for those positions, and you need to know who's who. This is what makes our city move. All right, this is some things that'll be on the ballot right here. Chicago public question 1, a broadband access advisory vote measure is on the local ballot. A yes for support advising the city to ensure that all cities community areas have access to broadband internet. What does that mean? A, no vote opposes advising the city to ensure that all the city's community areas have access to broadband internet. What does that mean? Before, during coronavirus, everybody's talking about 5G. This vote may be that. I don't know. We have to look into that a little bit deeper, because just to put on a ballot to say, do I want internet? Of course we all want internet. So, but that doesn't mean that's the end of the bill. That bill may put somebody in position that goes and say, hey, we got a yes vote. That means broadband internet means that we could put 5G towers on every other house. We don't know what exactly that means. So as an educated voter, you need to go find out what does that mean, because the simple context just tells you about internet when it could be something totally different about what's going on. So please go educate yourself. I have to educate myself as well. And there are other bills on there as well that I wanted to pull up real quick. This is another state Supreme Court. First district is P. Scott Neville. Fifth district is Judy Gates and David Overstreet. Those are two that's running for over there. How do I get it? 1 second. Now, so how do can you see this?
I don't see anything.
Okay.
You have mentioned that there was a judge that oversaw was it Laquan McDonald?
Yeah, Laquan McDonald. I looked this information up. He got into office in 2016. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure exactly when the election was. I mean, when the case was, but he's on the bench for 6 years, and so he doesn't come back up to 22. But that's
okay. So
that's something that we need to look into as well. Okay. Now, how do I pull this internet up?
Go to share screen.
Share screen.
And we should ask you about the Chrome tab. It's on the internet, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Share screen. Let's see share screen. Share screen. Okay. Share screen. At least two monitors. Share screen. Okay. Chrome tab. All right. All right. Can you see it?
I can.
All right. So I just wanted to show that these are the things that's on the ballot before we get out of here. We have, this is the first question I showed you about the broadband election. Like I say, we have to find out exactly what that means. Mm-hmm. And this is the second question that's on the ballot. It says, Chicago Plan Goals Advisory Vote Measures. A yes vote supports advising the city to place equal focus on the goals of resiliency, equity, and diversity while creating its plan for growth and sustainability. What does that mean? It sounds good. It sounds like a yes, right? But we don't know exactly what that means.
There's no specifics. It's very vague.
Very vague. A no vote opposes advising the city to place equal focus on the goals of resiliency, equity, and diversity. Yeah, we want that, but what does that mean? Does that mean that that another race of people get to buy property in our neighborhood for cheap? Don't know.
So where are the details of this?
We have to, where the details at? If I would go to, let's see. I don't know exactly. But I'm learning, and we're going to learn together.
Well, we only have 5 minutes left.
All right, 5 minutes left. So. All right, cool. So how about we come back for that, because we got 20 some days left, 28 more days left before the election. So let's definitely try to bring another section back. I like this impromptu informational. All right, third question. Now, here we go. Coronavirus, Donald Trump, whatever you want to say, but gun sales in the black community have went up as well. Now, this vote right here says a yes vote supports advising a state to restrict the sale or possession of firearms that have been defined as assault weapons, or of magazines that can hold more than a certain number of rounds. And a no vote stops that. Yeah, safety wise, as a person, you say, no, we don't want that. Yeah, stop it. But hey, if these other people, you saying the KKK got it, why they gotta have a upper hand? Let us go get some long clips too. A lot of people, like I say, the void cards, the conceal and carries, a lot of that in the black community has picked up. Gun sales in the black community have went up, and I believe that this is this is what Trump, I think, is making us do, becoming more aware versus being blind that racism is not there. Racism is out there. We need to be ready. We need to be prepared. And I'd rather know that you're a racist than in my face than be someone who's acting like racism ain't there, and then behind my back you plotting to do whatever you trying to do to me. So that's another vote that's on the ballot. Here's a and then you have your local DuPage County votes as well. But this is the graduated income tax. All right. Let me go back. Look at this. Now, this is who support. This is how much been put in to support it. $58 million has been in to support it. 48 million has been to oppose it. Look at these other ones. Zero. Nothing's been put into them. But this tax bill means a lot. Why is that? See what I'm saying? So a yes vote supports repealing the state constitutional requirement that the state personal income tax be a flat rate, and instead allow the state to enact a legislation for a graduated income tax, which we don't know what that means. All right. Graduated could be anything that above $12,000 that means that you can get taxed.
Well, it's the overview is down there. It says, what would the ballot measure change about the state income tax? So there's a lot to read there. The only reason I'm not reading it now is because we have less than 3 minutes.
Okay. But please go check it out. All right. So that's a no vote opposes the constitutional amendment, thus continuing to require the state personal income tax to be flat rate and prohibit graduated income tax. So please check it out. I mean, I just wanted to give something to people in regards to the cry to go vote. Go vote, go vote, go vote. Don't mean nothing. You need to know what you go in that ballot, and you be you be lost. You be like, and then people. That's how people get in office for so long, because we don't know and we don't question until something goes wrong. Then when something goes wrong, then we want to look at who all in office. Yeah, those are the same people that's been there for 30 years that you put in there, and ain't no laws changed at all.
And so we have to also take the time, and it requires reading. It requires studying, and a lot of people don't have the desire or the energy to do that. And I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying that's why it ends up being the way that it is, where you decide who you're going to vote for on your way in to the polls as you grab those pluggers that people are passing out at the entrance. Mm-hmm. And so you just use that. And I'm not really sure if you even know who you're trusting when you do that. But anyway, so I do believe it's a good idea to do the research, do the reading, get the information, so that we're not putting ourselves in a worse situation by voting for something that sounds good. I totally. So the thing is, I wanted to talk about the vice president debate that's coming up in a couple of days. Because that one, I believe, is one to watch. So we were entertained. If you were entertained, I was not entertained. I was irritated by the presidential debate. But this one should be more along the lines of something that I want to see. I do want to hear both of the candidates speak.
Yeah, because this is probably one of your presidents that's
exactly, because of the age of the two. So yeah, yeah. Because how old are they? 70s,
Oh,
80s? They're older than my parents.
yeah. Oh,
So yeah, there's the likelihood that whoever gets elected, their vice president, is likely to be in a position to take over.
they definitely have to be ready. They on life alert. So they
Okay.
definitely got to be on life alert.
All right. Anyway, so we have spent our hour looking at Barry's wonderful PowerPoint presentation.
That was
Did you get to finish it?
Yeah, for today. That's just a start. So that was just something I just did just in the past hour, but just because I
Really
think people
quickly,
need to know, you know.
Okay, so yeah, so that was a breaking news special report from Candid Conversations. We will have the Mary game actually the hour before the vice presidential debate. Oop, why are you looking at me like that?
No, I didn't know.
We had to reschedule. There were some family emergencies that took place. So, yeah, so tune in at 7 p.m. Central Time here on Candid Conversations for the Mary game. And just to get your energy up before whatever is going to happen at that time. But I'm looking forward to the vice presidential debate. All right. So, this is Aisha Israel, your laid back, down to earth life coach. A couple of days. Good night.